welcome back to Hinton's Crafts. I'm going to do a Tea Time Tuesday. So I got some tea to spill. Let me, just a little bit, there we go. Oh my gosh. If I'm turning my head, it's because I'm trying to get the name of it correct for you. So if you are into like true crime story, if you're into like true crime stories, documentary things, this is so for you. Alright, so it's called The Girlfriend Who Didn't Exist. And okay, so I'm gonna get into it. There's this football player and his name is Manti Te'o. And he started off as like this big time college football player, and he was like trying to make it to the big leagues. Well, he ends up meeting this person online and starts talking to them, and really and truly falling for this person. Here he falls for this person. He talks to the person's family, like all of this stuff goes on. His grandmother ends up dying, so they end up dating. Him and this person start dating. His grandmother dies, and then that same day, this person dies. And it just blows up all over the place. He's using their deaths to power him, to get through his football. Like, everybody's feeling sorry for him. He's not using it to take advantage of, but he's like growing strength from it. Like, he believes like, oh, they're watching over me, and I'm powering through life. So that's what he was doing. Here, this person wasn't real. It was a guy who pretended to be a girl. And it's so crazy. Like, it's so bizarre crazy, okay? So I'm going to get back to the beginning. He pretends to be this girl. He talks to Te'o, and he's like, telling him all this stuff. Teo's really falling for this person. But every time they want to meet, they don't want to meet up. So he's like, okay. So then Te'o goes on the friends list, and he finds people that they know each other, like mutual friends. And he's like, hey, how do you know this person? They're like, oh yeah, I know them. So he's here not one of them said, no, I only talk to them on the phone. They say, yes, I know her. So he's like, oh, okay, so they really know her, so she's legit. And his cousin too. His cousin at the time talked to this girl, and he goes to his cousin, hey, how do you know her? And he's like, yeah, I know her, and stuff like that. So he's here assuming, okay, she's truly legit. Like, I did my research. I talked to these people. I found out she's really legit. Maybe she just truly does have these issues. And that's the reason why she doesn't want to see me. Well, they were supposed to meet, or something happened. And all of a sudden, she gets into a car crash. Her family calls him up. Te'o tells him, oh yeah, she's in a car crash, all this stuff. So she's here, the guy who's doing this is thinking, I wanted to kill off my character, so this is what I was going to do, And then Te'o gets on the phone, and they're like, do you want to, talk to her? Because she's really bad. She's banged up. She's in a coma. On top of being in a coma, they found out she has lupus. So she found, and he has cancer that runs through his family. So he took that really, really hard, about the whole lupus thing. He took it like to the heart, like, whoa, like, like the family, they already suffer with that. So he's here like, and he turns to God and everything like that. So, they said, do you want to talk to her on the phone? So he's like, yeah, goes and talks to this person on the phone. And then he hears this. Like Darth Vader breathing. So he's explaining this whole scenario, how he's on the phone, and then the breathing intensifies. And they're like, oh yeah, the nurse just said her activities never spiked this much And he's like, wow. So he's here thinking it's because of him. Like, wow, she loves me that much and she's hearing my voice, and my voice is what's getting her through. What are you two doing? So he's like, my voice is what's getting her through. So every day he's calling, he's talking, and little by little her breathing's like getting better and better. And then one day he hears Teo, like Teo, like Teo, is that you? And all of a sudden this person comes out of their coma. I feel so bad for this guy. Like, I feel so bad, because you have to think of it this way. He's a football star. So every day is football. You know, they're training. It's college football, so it's on TV. They're doing all these things, and plus he's having, what do they call it, scouts or whatever. You know, checking him out, getting him ready to see, you know, what team that his future might, you know, go on or whatever. I don't know about football, but I'm just going off the storyline. So he's tremendously busy in that world, you know. So of course, if it was a normal person, you would have flew out there and found out the hospital and all this stuff. But he's busy. So this person played him really good, because it's like, okay, you're busy. There's no way that you're going to be able to rush out here to the hospital and, you know, all this stuff. So anyway, this guy, he did the voice of the mother, the sister, the dad, the brother, the cousin. There was a little niece involved. There was a little girl that's the guy's real sister. Teo heard on the phone, was like, oh, who's that? And he goes, oh, that's my niece. Puts the niece on the phone, has a niece who's like 4 years old, you know, telling these lies, and she's 4. She don't know no better. So she's here telling these lies, like, oh yeah, Auntie, what was her name? Lorelai? No, not Lorelai. Lena. I think it was Lena or something like that. Like, oh, Auntie Lena, yes. All this stuff. So then this goes on and on and on. Teo got tired of not seeing her, tired of the excuses. You know, she started saying, oh, I just want to get better before I see you. It's hard for me right now with everything that happened. I'm just trying to get better. I don't want you seeing me like this. Which, if it was a true scenario, I could totally understand that. But this wasn't true. She could at least like FaceTime, but never FaceTime. Every time they try to FaceTime, she put like a black screen, like, oh, I can see you, why can't you see me? Like, you know, I don't know, continuing the lies, you know, telling him all of this crap. So, and then he just, I'm sorry to say this, but guys are so gullible, especially when you're in love. You're gullible. You believe that person, and he had so much on his plate, and this was his like breakaway from that. So I truly understand, you know, how it was so easy for him to fall for a person. Come over, babies. Okay, like the little kitties. You know, I could truly understand why it would be easy for him to be so gullible and fall for this person. This person was screwed up in the head. Let me tell you what, when you watch this thing, ooh, you never like disliked a person before, you would definitely dislike this person. Like, oh, it just drives you crazy, the things this person has. And then he has like no sympathy, no sorrow at all. Like, he just doesn't care. Like, oh yeah, this happened. I did that. Like, that's how he acts. And you're just like, sorry, there's like tons of hair that bother me. It's like, I just can't believe it. Like, I seriously can't believe it. It's so mind-blowing, and it's been eating me up. Oh my goodness. Now, I know this happened a couple years ago, or I don't know how many years ago now, but I just heard about it now. I'm sure it's on the internet. I'm sure I've probably seen it, but if it has to do with football, I'm just like, you know, whatever. But, this is just so crazy. So, how it all started to fall apart is this. Teo started to not talk to her that much. You know, he was really into his football. He started, like, you know, having enough. Like, he wanted to see her. She kept giving excuses. at the end of the day, he's just like, you know what, I'm going to move on. So he started like slowly moving on. Well, she would call him up crying, leaving these voice messages and stuff like that. So he started talking to her. Well, the day his grandmother died, he was so messed up in the head. Like, he couldn't think straight. Like, he wasn't even talking to nobody. And he never said to this person, my grandmother just died. He would just like giving them the cold shoulder, but not meaning to. So this psycho was like, oh, well, he wants to play it this way. Fine. Well, I'm dead. The brother calls him up right before his game. He had a big game, and right before it, calls him up and tells him, she's dead. She like screaming on the phone, crying. She's dead. She died. Her cancer, I guess, lupus or leukemia it was, got to her, and she's dead. So not only did his grandmother just die that morning, or he found out she died that morning, the afternoon, right before his game, he finds out his girlfriend, this girl that he never seen, that he's madly in love with, is dead. So he had to go and play this game with that happening. So then the media started getting all around him, like, oh, I feel so bad, what power, what strength he has to keep going. His grandmother dies, and his girlfriend, the love of his life, dies, The family was involved, his mom and his dad. They would talk to her family, which is the same guy, by the way. This one guy voiced the whole family. They would talk to the mom, they would talk to the dad, they would talk to the sister, console them. They just lost their grandmother, and they lost other people. They lost the uncle to cancer and things. So they, would talk every single day to these family members and try to console them, try to help them get through it. And they would pray on the phone to each other, all this stuff. So this whole, the whole family is involved in this. And, Teo, he's keep going on and stuff like that. So then the guy who really plays, did I say her name was Lana or Lena? Lena. The guy who plays her, he goes and shows himself for real, but doesn't say anything. He goes to the game. He's a cousin, and he brings the niece because Teo was close to the niece on the phone, always talking to her, so that. So then they all hang out before a game, and they're meeting each other, having a great time. Teo didn't think nothing of it. He just thought, oh, I'm meeting a family member, and it's great, whatever. So they're hanging out, and then they go to Build-A-Bear, and the little girl goes and gets the Build-A-Bear and goes to him. Lena wanted me to give you this. So he's here like he said. Here this little girl is telling me, oh, I miss my Auntie Lena so much. I can't believe she's gone and all this stuff. And he goes, so there was no doubt in my mind that she was real. No doubt. He has zero doubt in his mind. On top of that, before, he talked to others who were on her friends list that he knew, mutual friends, and said, hey, do you know this person? They're like, oh yeah, I know this person. Not once did they say, I don't physically know, I know this person. I would have been like, no, I don't physically know them, I talked to them through here on the phone, but they never said that. So he's here really truly feeling his girlfriend was real. So he's going on. It's right, he has his major game right before pickoffs. Is it playoffs? No, it's playoffs before the draft and pick. There we go. Ooh, I'm smart. No, not really. I know nothing about football. I'm just now learning about baseball because Mr. Hoot is obsessed with baseball. So anyway, so he's just now learning. Oh no, he has his big playoff game right before his draft and pick to see if his professional football career is going to lead. And he had top people wanting him, top teams really truly wanting him. He gets a phone call, and it's the sister. So he's talking to the sister, and he's like, yeah, nothing. And all of a sudden the voice changes, and it goes, do you know who you're talking to? He's like, what? And he's like, the sister. She goes, no, it's not. Do you know who you're talking to? And he's like, who? And she's like, it's Lena. And tells him this story like, oh, I had to fake my death. I messed with the wrong people. I had them after me, so I had to go like in undercover, like what's that called? Witness protection. Like I had to do witness protection type thing, and all the family had to go with it and all this stuff. I'm so sorry I did that to you. And he hangs up the phone. And then she keeps calling him, all because she was bored. He was bored. He was bored and he missed Teo, and he wasn't getting his fix with just being the cousin and the family members talking to Teo. You know, and he helped Teo's career. He would tell him certain plays and certain things he should do, and he did it because this guy at one point in his life did football in high school. You did high school football, honey. This is the big leagues. And you think you were part of Teo's career? No. So anyway, yeah. So because of him, Teo was who he is and where he was in his career. And he needed him. So Teo's like, no, you're lying. And so this guy, he goes, okay, if it's really you, if it's really Lena, wear this color and write this on a paper in red marker. And he gives him like a, weird letters or whatever to write down. So he goes, gets a hold of the girl, the real girl that he saw the pictures from. He went to high school with, but they weren't friends. He didn't know her or nothing like that, but he knew of her from school. He spoos her this story about, I guess, the cousin died or whatever, and had a crush on her or something. I don't know, but wanted her to take a picture of this or something, like everybody's taking a picture of this and they're sending it to the cousin. Could she do that? So she did. She wore the outfit. She wrote on the paper the letters the way Teo wanted him to, in red marker and everything. So he gives this picture to Teo and says, see, it's really me. So Teo at this time is like, what's going on? Like, he is mind blown. He doesn't tell anybody. He keeps this to himself because he said, I was lost. I didn't know who would do this, like who would play that kind of trick, what kind of trick they were running, like why they would do this to me. He throws the game. Like the whole game is just a bomb. On top of this happening, okay, there are these reporter guys, which you're gonna hate. They are digging into things because they get a hint from somebody, which I truly believe, because they never say who it was, I truly believe it was this guy, and I'm going to tell you why. So they get a hint, a letter saying, you need to look into this girlfriend, like it's fake, and I wouldn't put it past Teo and knowing. So they're here digging deeper into the story, and they find out that it's fake. The real person was Rasheen. That's the guy's name, Rasheen or Rashawn or something like that. Who's really behind it and was catfishing Teo, and does Teo know? So the next day, so Teo, hold on, I'm getting ahead of myself. So they're like finding all these things out. They claim they're just trying to stick it to the man, at ESPN or whatever. They're trying to, give me 1 second, please. So, trying to say they're trying to stick it to the man. So sorry. Oh, for Tea Time Tuesday. This is Snapple Zero Sugar Raspberry Tea. No. So, yeah, trying to stick it to ESPN now. Oh, they should follow their football players better. They should, dig into details instead of just going along with the story how he lost his grandmother and he lost. No. What they were trying to do was make it big. Have their big breakout story. Greedy people, ka-ching, ka-ching. If they really cared, they would have went to him first and be like, hey. So they said they called him. And they called the family, but the family didn't know nothing about it. And he didn't answer the phone. He got a call, but he goes, I always get calls, so I didn't think nothing of it. I had no clue what Deadspin? Oh yeah, Deadspin or something like that. I had no clue what Deadspin was, so I just whatever. He never answered the phone. Now, Teo did go to his manager from the college, Notre Dame. Was he in Notre Dame? Yeah, I think so. He was in Notre Dame. So he did go to the college, and he did tell them him everything that happened. So the college was like, okay, we're going to figure this out. We'll figure everything out. Because he went to his parents, told his parents were mind blown. And he goes, you need to go and tell the college. So he did. He went, told. So then he was just waiting to see what to do. Now, if you were in that position, you would be so lost. You'd be like, I don't want to know what to say either. I'd be like, what's going on? Like, this never happened in my life. Like, everything's a lie. Like, is my grandmother alive too? Like, that's how I be questioning life. Like, I would just be like, what's going on? So the next day, after he tells his teacher, he goes and he's like working out. He goes, working out clears my mind. So he's working out at the gym. He gets a call from his manager, and his manager goes, go to your apartment and lock the door. Don't come out. He's like, why? He goes, just do it. So he's here like wondering like what's going on. He goes on Twitter and he sees all these people attacking him, all these people putting him down, and he sees the release of the story. And it was like his heart just sunk. Like, excuse me, he just said he just felt, he just didn't know what to do at that time. So he stayed in the house, his apartment, for a couple of days, and then he just couldn't no more. He went out into the world, but they were like telling him what to say. He goes, I wish I could go back in time and I could say things my way, but I didn't know what to do. I was lost. I had all this thrown my way. I had no clue that the person that I loved was fake or nothing. So he goes on TV interviews and everybody's like throwing it in his face like, how did you not know? My only wish, sorry, I had to itch my leg and I didn't mean to, invade your space. My only wish is that Nev from Catfish, he would have been in this documentary because Nev was the one who created Catfish. Well, he didn't mean to create it, but he was catfished. He fell in love with this woman online, and then right before he went to go meet her, found out she was fake. Found out the whole thing, her whole family and everything she did, even the paintings that he would send her, wasn't from the little girl he said, this artist prodigy. It was from her. And this old lady. And, he finds out all of this stuff. It first started out the documentary. His friends from college, they were doing a documentary on finding love in the internet or something like that. And then it turned into this whole fake thing of Catfish. So he was the first one that was really devastated and hurted. So I wish he would have been in there to support Teo and, open people's minds. Yes, this truly can happen. You can truly fall in love with somebody online and not know who they are and believe every little thing they say. Now it's a little bit easier because there's FaceTime, there's Snapchat, there's Instagram, all these things that people can't really hide themselves anymore. You can't have an excuse like you can't be on video. But back then it was easy. You can just say, oh, my phone doesn't work like that, or I don't have that kind of service, or, this and that. So I just wish, he would have been in it, but he was not. But anyway, so Teo's whole world comes crashing down. He has everybody picking on him. He becomes the biggest joke ever. While this guy is living his best life. Oh, I only did it because I didn't know how to come out to my family, but now I'm out. I'm proud. No, you don't ruin somebody's life because you were afraid to come out. When your family was perfectly fine with whatever lifestyle choices you make, No, you're psychotic. You purposely wanted to destroy someone's life, and you did. You have no care in the world. He has not once yet to say sorry. And the whole thing, he's like, oh, you just want to punch him in his face. And I'm not even a mean person. It just drives you crazy how this person acts and how they're just no, so nonchalant. Yeah, I did this. Good times. Really? No. Poor Teo, even to his day, he got married and people were still picking on him, posting memes oh, finally he found himself a real woman, and is this one fake too? how much is he paying her? Like all this stuff. Like he can, and he's a free agent, meaning that he's not glued to one team, and he lost millions of dollars. Like he wasn't even first pick. You have to be first pick to get like the great deals, and he wasn't. And he was at that at one time in his life, he was first pick. Everybody wanted Teo. He was on top of his game, and because of this happened, it mentally messed him up to where he performed poorly. And I mean, you can only imagine somebody doing this to you. You will be performing very poorly. But you have to watch it. Seriously, it will blow your mind. Truly. Like, I'm not even getting into all the things. I'm not even touching the crazy that it gets into. When you're like watching it, your mouth is just, and you're just like, you just bawl for Teo. Like, I just cried and cried for him. I just can't believe it. And I just feel so bad, and I just hope that documentary changes things for him. I hope people open their eyes and see, especially there's catfish shows out there. You know, like there's tons of catfish shows out there that people can watch and see how easy it is to manipulate somebody. How easy it is to get into somebody. The lady from Rent, oh my goodness. She played a lesbian. She was with Maureen. She was catfished. Sorry, my voice went out. She was catfished. Okay, she was actually on the show Catfish with Neve. There was this fan, and the fan started talking to her, and the fan had like cancer and all this stuff. So she's like, really heartfelt into this fan. Like, I don't know if she gave money, but she did benefits, or I don't know I forget everything that entailed in that, but she was like full force into this person. And then all of a sudden, they're like dropped out of sight or whatever. So, and she never knew what happened. And here they find out that it was fake, that the person lied about everything, and it just blew her away. Like, wow, like somebody could do that. And that's a star. Like, she's on, is it not Chicago? Is it Chicago Fire? Chicago Fire. Oh my goodness, she's on that show now where they're 911. She's on 911. Which is a great show, by the way. But she plays, I don't know if she has a partner in real life or she's married, but she plays another lesbian on the show. And yeah, she's on there. But I don't know. I mean, it doesn't matter, but I just meant she plays really good. Like, I just always loved her. But yeah, she's such a nice person too, and I was blown away. It was just like, wow, like, you can't trust nobody. That's why I always feel bad when I talk about like my body, things like that. I don't want anybody to ever think I want anything. I don't. I say the things that I go through because I want to make awareness for you. If you're going through something, you're like, wait a minute. She just said she went through that too. Let me ask my doctor to get this checked out, because it could be that. That's why I always mention things. But, oh boy. And that blows my mind. So that's that, and that is called The Girl. Did I say The Girl That Never Existed? The Girlfriend That Never Existed. Or The Girlfriend That Wasn't Real. Something like that. Look up Teo. Manti Teo. Oh. I want to say it was The Girl That Never Existed. But there's another show. Oh my goodness. What's the show? Give me 1 second. Let me try to find this out. I don't need to. It just popped in my head. Crime Beat. Okay, it's called Crime Beats or Crime Beat on Netflix. Both of these shows are on Netflix. Or maybe Crime Beats on Hulu. I think it might be on Hulu. I'm not sure. But it's called Crime Beats. And let me tell you about that one. Checking the time. Sorry. Oh my gosh. So it based off of, so far I'm going to say it's based in Canada. So it's a Canadian crime investigation show. Because so far all the episodes I watched, they were Canadian crimes. I am going to say this. I can't believe the system that is in Canada. Oh my goodness. And then it makes me think of the system that's here in the US. It makes you really think, like, what? Okay, so here in the US, a drug dealer can get life in prison, but a rapist can get years and get off. How does that make sense, right? So in Canada, I'm going to tell you one of the shows. This guy, he was schizophrenic, but he didn't know he was schizophrenic, so he says. But he didn't know he was schizophrenic. He started reading into the Illuminati or whatever and started getting into bad things. He started hearing voices in his head, and they had like a college party. I want to say college. After every exam or something, they would do like, hold on, give me 1 second. So sorry, I had to sneeze. So they would do after every like exam, these group of friends, they would like rent this house that they call like a mansion. And they would just like, it wasn't really a mansion, but it was like a big house, and they would all like party and just have like a nice little time after they did their exams or their finals or whatever. So it was that night, and this guy goes in that house and he brutally murders 5 people. 2 of them, I think, almost survived, but then they ended up dying in the hospital or on the way to the hospital. But he's like stabbing them and like brutally murders 5 people, 5 kids. They were like in the 19 or something like that. 5 of them. And they were all like, when you hear the stories, of course the parents are going to boost their child up, but they really seem like legit, you know, decent people. I don't care if they were bad people. No one deserves that. But so the way the system works is, if you're mentally unstable, you can't be held accountable for your crime. So he was mentally unstable. He was never on any medications. They found out he was schizophrenic. They started putting him on medication. He was in a mental home, but then he has freedom. How does this happen? You killed 5 people. I don't care if you never knew you were schizophrenic. There's a part of your mind, even schizophrenic, bipolar, whatever, that you know right from wrong. And you know killing is wrong. I don't care what the voices are telling you. Shut those voices off. You know right from wrong. You killed 5 people. How is it that you have this freedom, that you get to sleep at night in a psych ward, but during the day you're out there partying and living your life? You get to get married and have kids. They don't get to grow up. You killed them. You stopped their life. How? Oh, like, it's mind-blowing. At least here, if you're psychotic, you don't go to jail, but you do go to a mental home forever. So at least you're locked up forever. I still don't think that's right. I think you should be in a jail cell taking medication. I don't think you should be in a nice psych ward, you know. That's why a lot of killers here, they want to claim insanity because, you know, they think they'll get off unless they're charged. They won't get the death penalty. Stay. They won't get the death penalty. They'll I don't know. It's just crazy. But then there's another guy, and oh my goodness, this is really gonna blow your mind. He was on a bus full of people, and there was another guy, and this is what the people said, that he turned to him, he smiled at the guy, and then all of a sudden, that was it. The guy starts brutally killing him, like stabbing the crap out of him, slicing his... Hey! Give me 1 second. Sorry. Coming in here barking like that. So anyway, and I kicked the stand. So slices his gut open, rips out his intestines, plays with the intestines, then cuts his head off, and then torments the other passengers on the bus. First of all, let's stop right there. If I'm on a bus and I see somebody beating someone up, attacking them, I'm going to stop them. You know, I'm going to use my citizen arrest or whatever. If I have a purse, I'm going to strap it around their head. I'm going to pull them off. I'm going to tie them up. I'm going to do something to stop this situation. If you see this person, it's a knife. Okay, I understand it's a knife and that's scary. But if there's like 20 of you on the bus to one guy, you can all jump on that person. Yeah, you might get cut up a little bit, but I'm pretty sure you all can hold this psycho down while the cops are coming, you know, and get him arrested. But no, no one did anything. They let this guy die. I mean, beyond die. I can't imagine what that must have looked like. The poor mother probably didn't even get a chance to go, see her son one last time or anything because the head's off. Like, what do you do? Do you see a head? Ooh. How could you do that? I wouldn't want to, would you? If somebody killed a loved one and they cut their head off, would you want to go say goodbye or, I guess, see your head? Ooh. I don't think I could. And then what? Hold the head? Ooh. I'm not making fun. I'm just saying, like, that's a hard situation right there. Oh. So you ready for this one? He gets off. He pleads he's crazy. He wasn't on medication for whatever reason. I'm sorry. If you know something's going on in your head, you go to your doctor. This is my symptom. This is what I'm feeling. Get your butt fixed. Don't wait till you start killing somebody and then go to jail and be like, hey, I'm crazy. Let me go. And that's exactly what happened. They got him off scotch-free, okay? Changed his name, and he's running around living his best life while the poor mother is like, any moment, what if he decides he doesn't have pills? What if he doesn't have money to pay for his medication? And he does this again. And that's exactly what can happen. And on top of it all, it gives people who are schizophrenic and bipolar or have a mental condition a bad rap. Because these people out there want to use that to their advantages. Like, oh, I was crazy. I didn't know what happened. No, you started reading evil books and got that into your head. What do you think is going to happen to you? The devil got into your brain and started tormenting you and you started following it. Like, you stop that barking. Like I told you. And so like I was saying, no. So like I was saying, not all schizophrenic people are going to go out there and kill somebody. Not all bipolar people are running around acting like Kanye West. Like there's underlying issues with Kanye West. He just thinks he's God's gift to the earth. And he can't accept no. He probably does drugs and, who knows? I don't know. But I'm so sick and tired of these people giving other people that have mental issues a bad rep. My dad was schizophrenic and bipolar. He was paranoid schizophrenic to where, things would bother him. He would think somebody's out for him or whatever. Sometimes he would be on the phone like, they're tapping me. But he wasn't going out there and killing people. And when he took his medication, I don't mean to say normal, but to the world standards, he was normal. And you could never tell. You would not talk to him and be like, huh, you're schizophrenic. Or ha, you're bipolar. Like, you would never know. Mr. Who? You saw him on here. Would you guess that he's bipolar? No, you wouldn't. And many people that know my husband would never guess that he's bipolar. Because bipolar isn't crazy. You're not out there. You just don't have emotional control over, you don't have control over your over your emotions. When you're mad, you're super mad. When you're sad, you're super sad. Those things, they get, it bothers you. And that's what bipolar is. And also, do your research. Like, learn about mentalness. It's not crazy. People out there killing people, that's crazy. People out there, playing the crazy card, that's crazy. And they should be locked up. They shouldn't have freedom. I'm sorry, you're out there killing 5 people, you're chopping somebody's head off, your butt's locked up for the rest of your life. I can care less if you claim crazy. You're locked up. It's mind-boggling. It truly is mind-boggling. It does really irk me because, the world that you live in, people look at others that are different and they say something. And I have my boy, and he's autistic. And I dare somebody to look at him like he's different. So I would strictly put them in their place. Not fighting. I'm not a fighter, but I would be like, oh no. And they would get a lesson from me. You would sit down and you will learn today what it means to be autistic. Or have, you know, and autism, it's different. I never knew that. I always thought autism was like, you know, slow. Not slow. I'm so sorry, I bumped again. What's that called? Yeah, is it slow? Down syndrome. Kind of like that, like a Down syndrome thing where, you know, it was hard for you to learn things. Some of them don't speak. So for me, autism, I always thought was one thing, and then all of a sudden when I found out Aiden had it, I was like, wait, what? No. And learning, it's like a whole world. Like there's so many different levels and stages, and it's like mind-boggling to that too. You're like, whoa. And that's how it is with schizophrenia and bipolar and things like that. There's different, you know, levels, but you're not crazy. You're only crazy if, one, you don't take your medication, because it does help, but you're only crazy if you're out there killing people, and then you're trying to claim crazy. What are you doing? You just want to play? Playing with me? You's upset too. Look at her. Look at the baby. I call her Mouse because she's so tiny. Hey, Mousy Mouse? Yeah. Alright. Look. There. And you could see it's still a little flat, but it does get better. I did research, and she lived past what she was supposed to live, according to them having the flat ribcage syndrome or whatever. But I saw somebody that had a cat, and it was like 2 years old, and it had it, and they're fine. So she's just teeny tiny, but she eats. She's starting to eat normal food, and drink water. She's very playful. She, like, when she wants you, that's it. She wants you, and she has to curl up and just sleep. So I can't wait. I want to find her a really good home. Right, Mousy Mouse? Right, they're starting to go potty by themselves, without their mom. So they're pretty much getting weaned, and then it'll be time for them to find a home, right? Find a home. So, but that is a really good show too. It does get really depressing because there's like a couple shows where kids are involved. There's one little girl, and she's 6 years old, and the dad and the stepmother tortured her, and like she held fire over her hands to where she gave her a 3rd-degree burn. Wouldn't take her to the doctors for it. She had bruises all over her. Refused to give her back to the mom because of the bruises all over her. And then she claims because she was misbehaving, and they were teaching her, you know, to behave. They tied her arms behind her back and made her walk up and down the steps, and then she fell, and that's what made her. No, they tortured that little girl. What are you doing? Yep, you know. You want to go down? Go ahead. But yeah, that anything that has kids in it gets to me every time. Anybody that has anybody that, you know, gets murdered and stuff, I don't even know why I watch these shows. Just draws in, and just draws you in. Then you get stuck in, and you're watching this, and then you're crying because you feel so bad for the people that. What are you doing to me now? Huh? What? What do you want? What? You get yelled at, and now you're sorry? Is that it? Okay. So yeah, I have a parrot on my shoulder, I guess. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, you're so teeny tiny. Go play. You're such a sweet boy. Aren't you? Aren't you a sweet boy? It's Bear Bear. Bear Bear likes to get you hyped, right? Yep, because you don't do nothing. You're like He's a sweet boy. But yeah, well, so that is The Girl That Didn't Exist or Never Existed and Crime Beats. I'm telling you, if you like those types of shows, there you go. Get some popcorn, get some tissues, and sit there and watch, because it is really, really, really sad. It gets to you, especially how his life was just, and even now it's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure he's living a decent life, but nothing like he wanted. He was on top of the world, everybody loved him, and then to have the whole world turn against you, it just, and put you down like that. It's so something how everybody can claim to love you and be your fan and everything like that, and then all of a sudden one wrong thing and everybody's against you. It's just crazy, right? It's crazy. Yes, it's crazy. Mousy Mouse, what you doing? So, what are you working on? This is the third time I pulled this apart. I'm making a baby blanket. This is Bernat Velvet. I forget the color. Do I have I don't have the band. I did. Do I? No. It's over there. Bernat Velvet. I just know that. So what I'm doing is I'm making a baby blanket because I said somebody that I know, their daughter is having a little girl. And so I'm making this blanket. Let me see if I can pull it up. It's called Rib Diamond Graph. And so, yep, you can't see that, can you? Can you see it? There you go. I had to turn the light down. You see it's like a little diamond, checkered diamond thing. So what I'm doing is I'm doing back post and then to do the diamond stand out front post and keep doing like that way. So then the reverse side is still the diamond popping out and the diamond popping out. So it's going to look really, really pretty. I found it on Pinterest. Let me see if I could show you the actual picture. They have it here. Oh, they do. All right. Let's see. No, oh wait. I had that down the whole way too. Blew it up. Can you see a little bit? A little bit you can. That's what it's going to look like. You see little diamonds? There we go. There we go. Now you can really see. So that's what it's going to look like. See how pretty that is? I just thought that is such a cute little blanket. And if I like it a lot, I'll I don't know, maybe keep it myself and make a throw, or maybe I'll just make myself one but anyway, I just thought that is so pretty. And it's not your typical baby blankets. I just thought this one would be so nice because it can grow. It doesn't have to be just a baby blanket. It can grow and then eventually turn into a throw. I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. But, so I just thought that is so nice. I want to start, if I make baby blankets for people, I want to make them that it could be an everyday use. That it could be a baby blanket and then they can grow with it and then they could keep it for the rest of their lives because they could turn it into a little throw blanket. You went up here, don't you? Look at you jumping. You're Spider Kitty. Spider Kitty. Yeah, Spider Kitty. You turned around. She was like, the camera's on. Go ahead, go play, baby. Are you awake? You want to say hi too? Still no names. This one's a little... He loves a kissy kiss. Yeah, he loves a kissy kiss. Yes. Right? And this is the other one. This one, he's trouble. You're trouble, right? Yeah. You're trouble butt. He likes to get into everything. But then at the end of the day, he wants to snuggle. Now you went down. Make up your mind, Mouse. So, yeah. I'm still trying to read this Usually, this would take me like a day or two. I'll be done. It is so hard to read. It just gets me mad when it's like, you know the backstory, and it just makes zero sense. Like, Ariel, she goes to Marketplace, and there's this young guy, and she's like, I wonder what age he is, because us mermaids, we're immortal. No, they never said that in the movie. And and on top of it all, Ariel was 16. She wasn't a child for 1,000 years, because she was like, when I was a baby, he was probably a baby too. Or I forget what she said, but it was like, oh, like, you're just adding a whole bunch of nonsense into the book now. There's no need for this. No need for this. Oh, how'd you get back up here, little spider kitty, huh? What you doing? Why? Then, so anyway, she's in the Marketplace, and they're having a conversation about war and all the bloodshed that's been happened with Ursula, Vanessa, and Prince Eric putting war on everything. And then he just turns away, and Ariel's in her head like, I am the queen. You don't turn your back on me. At least if we're in the ocean, you wouldn't dare. And I'm like, first of all, Ariel never would have thought like that. It doesn't matter if she was queen for years. She would have never thought like that. That's Ursula's way of thinking. That ain't Ariel's. Then she goes over, she's trying to buy apples from another little vendor shop or whatever, and the lady there, she's like, oh, these apples are for the royals, but if you have a better deal. And so Ariel pulls out her hand and has like all the little treasures from the ocean. It's like gold doubloons and pearls. And so she picks a gold doubloon and she picks a pearl, and she's like, I know who you are. You're a creature of the sea. I always wanted to meet one. And talking about like, and the whole thing is about like Neptune and the gods, and Ariel was never about that. They never talked about gods and stuff like that and all this stuff. And she loved the human world, and she picks on every little thing. The fountain, oh, the hideous fountain. We have this coral fountains in the ocean. Then go back to the ocean, Ariel. Then go back to the ocean. That, you wanted to be a part of the human world so bad. It just bothers the crap out of me. It bothers the crap out of me. I know I'm ranting on about a book. But, like I said, when you truly love these characters, it's going to irk you. It's going to irk you when people do this. And it just irks the crap out of me. It truly just irks the crap out of me. So anyway, like I was saying, she talks to this woman. She has tattoos on her body. She talks about how, oh yeah, I'm a tattoo artist. And she's like, oh, though. And she's thinking in her head, the only time I ever seen tattoos on humans were the dead bodies that bloated up. What? Ariel never in her life saw a human before Prince Eric. That was the first time she went to surface, right? Yes, the first time she went to surface and saw a human and fell in love instantly with Eric. So it's really hard to get through this book. And I have other ones I wanted to read. I really had Beauty and the Beast, and now I'm like, is she just going to ruin everything? And she has her emo in the book? I feel like giving her a piece of my mind. But then she just hit me with, I graduated from Browns. You can't tell me what to do. Right? That's how they talk. Thank you. What do you want? What is it that you want? Oh, you're tired. Okay. Alright, you get down off my shoulder. You're hurting me. The little kitten. She's sleepy. After she did get some playing, this is what she wants. Right? She wants to snuggle. This one's cute because when he wants me, he comes running to me purring. Right? You come running to mommy purring. Yeah. I love you. I love you. You can see the difference. I'll get off of here, but you can see the difference in the two. See how teeny tiny she is compared to, okay, fight him. His fat butt. Yeah. I would love for them all to go together. That would be like the other kittens all went together. I would love for that, but we'll see. Why did I do that? We'll see. Alrighty, so that is for Tea Time Tuesday. A lot of tea spilled today. A lot of tea. a lot of juice, a lot of drama, a lot of hatred for a book. So I hope you all are having a hooterific day. It's ribbed diamond crochet blanket. So it's from daisyfarmcrafts.com, but you can look on her Pinterest. Again, that's ribbed diamond blanket. So in case you want to make this too, I know I don't have much to show, but I was doing it wrong. I didn't even read the pattern. I was just like, oh, there's a graph, I'm just gonna do that. So I was doing front post for it, and then in between I was doing single crochet, which the back was really cool looking, but then the front of it, the diamond like puckered up and like it didn't look right. So like, this can't be. So I pulled it apart, frogged it, and then I read a little bit and it had back post, front post. So I was like, oh no, it had front post and double crochet. So I was like, oh, okay. So then I started doing double crochet and then front post, double crochet and then front post, and doing it that way. And then I was like, well, this still doesn't look right because now the diamond's not popping out like before. So I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Read the pattern, Jeanette, read the pattern. So went down and read the pattern, and then it said how, you know, like you do back post and front post. So both of the sides of the blanket's gonna be, you know, the same. So, ow! How are you gonna bite my thigh? That hurts. That hurts. That hurt, that hurt, that hurts. So yeah, but so far it's working up really nicely. It was, I could already see what I did wrong. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. And then around the edging, I don't think I'm gonna use this color. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I was thinking of doing a different color around the edging, like doing like a shell stitch, or I don't know. We'll see what I do. I'll definitely show you that because I'll probably have this done and be able to show you that by Friday. So when I get on here and be able, yeah, to show you that. So alrighty, let me get out of here. Again, I hope you had a hooterific day. I hope you're having a hooterific afternoon and evening, and I will see you back on here for Friday. Hootin' out. Bye.